All right. So, welcome to the very first episode of the Dawg House. This has been a long time coming. I feel like we've said we're going to do a lot of things, but this is like one of the first things that we've actually fully committed to.
Yeah.
For a few reasons, and we'll go over those reasons later, but we should probably start off with some introductions.
Yes,
Introducing each other.
So I'm Josh, better known as J Dawg. Back in elementary school, like fourth grade, I started wrestling. Been wrestling my whole life, 15 plus years. I guess I should tell them some of my accolades. Yeah.
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
Get into that? Okay.
Yes, we'll compare.
So in high school, I was able to capture 4 state titles individually and 4 team state titles. I didn't say this last time, but I was also able to capture 3 freestyle state titles and 3 Greco-Roman state titles as well. Should have been 4 for both of those, but I was hurt one year, so it would have been 4. But I was able to be a 6-time All-American in high school, which is just placing top 8 in national tournaments around the country. So I had 6 times I was able to place top 8 All-American, and out of those 3 were finals appearances at big national tournaments. I was able, my senior year, to get Wrestler of the Year amongst the whole state of Virginia. I was ranked top 20 in the country by Flow Wrestling, and what else? It's probably just it. I was recruited from a few D1 colleges. I used to get letters a lot from Ivy League schools.
Really?
I would get letters, and Ivy League is like, you'd be super, super smart to get into, which was not me.
Yeah.
So my coach would call me in. He'd be like, here, this is a really, really good school. I'd see Ivy League from like Brown or something. I'd be like, just throw it away. Like, there's no point of opening it. But I ended up committing to Old Dominion, actually, my junior year of high school. Decommitted. I ended up going to Virginia Tech, where right after graduation, I went out there, started training summertime. Gray shirted my first year. Didn't go home for the next summer, trained all summer, and then red shirted my second year. And then my red shirt year, I stopped wrestling and started doing jiu-jitsu. And so from there, once I noticed y'all, right around I started doing jiu-jitsu, I noticed Nicky Ride, the DDS squad at the time. I was like, I still have that fire to compete. You know, like I want to get in there and get dirty and get bloody. And so I started taking jiu-jitsu seriously, saved up money, traveled out here to Austin, Texas, and started training with the B team. And here I am now.
You said a gray shirt? What's this?
Oh, gray shirt.
Gray shirt, yeah.
Yeah. So a gray shirt is when your grades are shit, and there's a school within the area that's kind of like attached to Virginia Tech for gray shirt athletes, where they go and do classes at that under that school, but they're attached through the college, through the sport. So you're not allowed to start even if you wanted to, but you're allowed to do everything else with the team. So train, lift, everything, but you're not allowed to start even if they wanted to start you. And then once you meet the required GPA to get into Virginia Tech, then you enroll into classes of Virginia Tech next year, and now you're eligible to start. So
that's gray shirt. And what's red shirt?
Red shirt year is pretty much the same thing, but you start at Virginia Tech instead of an attached school. So your red shirt year, you're technically not starting, and it does not count as an eligibility year. So you don't have to start, and it's pretty much just a year to train. But the difference is a red shirt can be pulled at any time. So if you're red shirting, let's say you're the starter at my weight, I'm red shirting, so my clock hasn't started, which is my 4 years to wrestle in college has not started yet. But the second I pull that red shirt and start and they start me over you, then my clock starts. So there's so many. You could wrestle in college for like 9 years, and technically I have 4 years of wrestling still. Like my clock never started.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Sometimes it feels like you see these guys competing for years and years. You're like,
I
thought this guy was
full chest hair, beard, got like 3 sons, daughters out there.
Whole families in the crowd.
Families in the corner going against some 18-year-old freshman. That's how it is sometimes.
Fucking
But
hell.
we want to know about you. Where your career start? High school, middle school?
So I started wrestling when I was very young. I think I was in like elementary school. I did football, and I
You did football?
I did football. I was very, very young. Did football, and I remember we lost one year. It was like a final game of the season. I was like, these people suck. We lost because someone else. I'm never doing this ever again.
As Jay Rod had like 10 fumbles.
I just kept getting like, terrible memories. I hated football. But yeah, I started wrestling because I saw Nick wrestling, and middle school and high school I started taking it very seriously. I got into club wrestling. Didn't really compete too much in the off season, but I always trained in the off season. And I guess high school, I was. Oh, what was your high school record?
Oh yeah, my record.
We
That's
went
right.
over this before. So a lot of this we kind of touched on our first episode that we filmed. I don't know if I said this already.
No.
But we had some audio issues on the very first episode. So this episode right now is kind of like 1.5 for us, but for you guys, it's number 1.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So my record, it was like 168 and like 16, something like that.
Okay. Fuck, 168.
Yeah.
My record in high school was 136 and 17, I think.
Yeah. That's that's just including the season. That's not including like off season because I wrestled all year round.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure my losses and wins would be higher.
Yeah. Off season is a whole different beast as well.
It was rough. It was just rolled right into it. It was like win state title, woo.
Yeah.
Well, my senior year I made it to the finals of national preps.
Yeah.
Which was good, but my last wrestling career match was a loss. So that was hard to swallow.
It hurts.
But before that, really? Yeah, it was rough, man. I remember just seeing that clock, and it was to the same guy I lost to in the BCDE's finals. Not same score, but by 1 point. Lost by 1 point. Yeah. I see the clock ride down, 3, 2, 1, boom, I lose by 1 point. I just sit down on my butt, just like... Afterwards, I walked outside and I cried.
Yeah. For sure.
It was all just over, you know?
Yeah, in my senior year, I was the 4th seed going into the state tournament. I was undefeated that entire season, and I'm the 4th seed, so I'm fighting like the 30th seed or something like that. And first match, take the guy down. I'm like, oh, this is fucking easy.
This is easy.
Let him
Mom,
up.
roll the camera.
Yeah. Turn the camera on. Send this to everyone. She sets up the camera, and I take the guy down. I cut him. We're both in neutral again. I go to take him down again or something, and then he gets a single leg on me. My single leg defense is impeccable. If you haven't noticed yet, I've got some really good single leg takedown defense. So confident in that. And he just fucking sticks me right on my back. Not even a fucking takedown, just immediately straight to my back. And I can't remember the specific, like, what happened, what he did, because it just hurts so bad. I pushed it far out of my mind.
Can't remember.
It still stings. But yeah, he stuck me, and I cried for a very long time.
That's rough.
And then I wrestled back all the way to either the blood rounds or the round before the blood round. So it was like, you're about to fucking place. And like my school, this was like, I broke so many records in my school. Broke all of Nicky Ra's records. Like the last time someone had placed in states was like in the early 2000s or something.
Really?
Like around the time I was born. So it was like, yeah. I was like,
damn. So this was
supposed
to be you.
I was the one. It was supposed to be me. Damn. There was no one else in my team. It was like two other guys that were like high level, but nowhere near me, of course. But yeah, I ended up losing in like the blood rounds or something, and that's
a hard pill to swallow. The blood rounds, I've been in blood rounds way too many times.
Yeah.
And won and lost, man. When you lose, you're just like, take me home now.
Yeah. It's frustrating when you see you've gone through so many matches that like I remember seeing the guy that beat me first round going home because he lost, and I was like, I'm still fucking in this.
Yeah.
How?
I'll let him beat me.
Like this is how fuck.
Let's you know, dude. Some days are just not meant to be your days. You know.
Yeah,
that's rough.
But yeah, that happened, and right out of I think it was my junior or senior year, I started seeing Nicky Rod. It like immediately started blowing up in jiu-jitsu, and at the time, like everyone's like, "Oh, go to college, do this, do that, be a normal person," you know, whatnot.
Nah.
And I was like, "Nah." But yeah, I immediately start training jiu-jitsu because I'm influenced by Nicky Rod. Of course, I was like, I see him doing this. I'm like, I could do this too.
I could do that way better.
Obviously. Way better. And yeah, I started training. I worked for like a few months after high school, saved up some money, started training full time, and pretty much for like, it was like a year and a half of just until I won trials. So just a year and a half of not working,
Was that your first trials attempt, right?
That was my second trials attempt.
Oh, it was your second, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. That was West Coast trials that I won. I tried East Coast trials and made it to the second day, and then ended up getting like heel hooked by some older guy. But yeah. Oh, for like the whole year and a half, I was like just spending all this money, just like traveling and just investing time and money into yourself, and it's like. Very scary. It's very, very scary.
Very scary.
You're putting your gas in your car and you're like, fuck, I hope this works.
Bro.
I hope this works.
I know how you feel because like during that, there's been times in my life where like I was in college and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I didn't have the money to fill up my gas tank all the way.
Yeah.
So like you just like crunch the numbers. Like, all right, I put like $20 in my car this week, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
Fucking
good.
scary, man. But yeah. I started doing jiu-jitsu, won trials, focused a lot on social media stuff. I just re-signed my contract this morning for Level Black. I'll be staying with Level Black for another 2 years. I'm very, very happy about that.
That's good.
I was getting some other offers from other companies, but obviously I value Level Black. The deal is pretty much the same money-wise, but the only difference was the other company was allowing me to have streetwear sponsors, so I could make other like more money from just like streetwear brands that want to sponsor me.
Yeah.
Whereas Level Black is just all everything is exclusive streetwear, jiu-jitsu stuff, everything.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. Loyalty is valuable as well. So I think working with a guy I trust, I really trust Level Black. Anytime I want anything at all, he's just like gives it to me immediately, gives me more than I want.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, he's a really good sponsor stuff. I'm happy to be staying with him.
That's good.
But yeah, more on this podcast.
Yeah, let the dogs that have entered into the Dawg House know what to expect. What's the format going to be?
So we have, I guess we should go on our. So we always have these conversations, right?
Yes, give the background story.
Yeah. Should we? Okay.
Yes,
right,
yes.
Right,
the answer is yes to whatever you're about to say.
There's a lot. All right. So I guess for the podcast, we're going to be going over like casual talk. We're shooting for like half of every podcast being casual talk, and then the other half will be something about jiu-jitsu, competition, mindset, lifestyle, and just like overall just trying to improve.
The meat and potatoes.
Yes, the good stuff. And I mentioned this before as well. I don't really like the idea of doing podcasts, but I'm doing this for a reason. Every time since I've met this guy, every time I have a conversation with him, I'm like, wow, I wish this was recorded. Because like I just want to look back on these conversations for myself and just kind of like just go over the stuff we talk about. Because there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. I agree.
And we will be having more of those conversations, throughout the episodes and whatnot. But this is just a start, I guess. But I guess how we became
we
friends,
have to go over again what the backstory
is. Yes. So you know us, but how did J Dawg and Jay Rod become friends? Right?
Yes.
I think you'll do the friends part. I'll do the best friends part.
Yeah. The friends part and then the best friends part. So the friends part, Jay and I became friends. It was cloudy, dark day. I was in the B team, having a rough practice.
Actually, it was cloudy that day.
Was it?
I think it was cloudy.
I just made it up, but I'm glad I was right.
No, I think it was cloudy.
It's bad practice, having a rough practice. And I walk over to my Croc, my brand new Crocs I just bought. And I see a JitzBitz on my Croc, which is Jay's company. Instantly made my day better. And I look down and I see it was a purple belt, so he got my belt right. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I think this is like Jay's company. And Jay walks by and he's like, you're purple belt, right? I was like, yeah. He goes, okay, yeah, that's for you. And I was like, oh, thanks, brother. Like, yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, so I went home and I was like, talking to my girlfriend. I was like, yeah, Jay gave me his JitzBitz. Like, what a good guy. Just buggy trucked me 50 times and then gave me a JitzBitz. I'm not really sure what signal he's trying to give here, but it was a good gesture. And so from there, I was like, I always kind of saw Jay and the Rod brothers as good guys, and they come from a wrestling background, so we have a lot of stuff like we see similar, and the culture we're from are the same. And so we're going to get into should I say the story I saw of your post? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was on Instagram one day, and because I only go to Instagram once a week, that's a lot. And I see Jay's story, and I see he puts out in a story. He was like, "Hey, anybody want to play Call of Duty Ghost, specifically
Extinction?"
And I was like, what? This dude, one, I was like, this dude plays video games? Cool. And then two, I was like, oh, wow, he's playing Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, those are one of the GOATs back in the day. And so I slide into his DMs, right into the DMs. And I was like, oh, like, I'll play. And we tried playing. We couldn't because it was like, wasn't cross-platform, which is, we run into that problem all the time. But that was a day we got on Xbox and ended up playing a different game.
Yeah,
right?
what was it? It might have just been Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I think it was got on Modern Warfare and started talking.
Yeah.
And then you can get into what really just.
Yeah. Yes. So, that's what kind of made us closer, playing video games together, and
blood, sweat, and tears.
Exactly.
We roll every day in practice, right?
Yes. We are connected by our blood. Whatever diseases we've contracted over the years. So yeah, over I don't know, time passes on, we keep playing video games, and every time we sit down and play video games, we have these conversations just about really the topics that I mentioned before, that how we want the podcast to be on, just overall improvement, mindset, everything, all the good stuff. There was one specific time where we're just like going back and forth on like how people like love football, and don't get me wrong, supporting like celebrities and people you look up to is good. Supporting them is good, right? I want my fans to support me and whatnot. We always appreciate the support, but there's a point where it's support, and then it kind of becomes like, what's the word? Like idolizing almost, right?
Yeah, you can support someone because you want to be like them.
Exactly.
And then you can support someone to a point where you believe that you could never be like them.
Yes, like it's too far.
I don't think
like
you should never get to that point.
Exactly. Yeah. I never want people to think that like just something isn't attainable, or like becoming someone you want to be isn't attainable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about people how people idolize football players and Tom Brady. Tom Brady. So
he's not even that good.
So Josh is like, yeah, man, I don't. Fuck, what did he say? You were like, yeah, I don't know how these people are gonna let this football team affect their mental state. It doesn't make sense. Like, and they were like, oh, did you see Tom Brady's throw? Did you see Tom Brady score last weekend? It's like, he said, fuck Tom Brady. I want to score. Yes. I was like, this guy's on to something. This guy's fucking on. I want to score.
Yeah, I want to. Give me the ball.
Yeah, give me the ball. Fuck Tom Brady. And that very moment, I was like, this guy's my best friend. This guy is reading my fucking mind.
Yep.
And from there on out, we're pretty much ranked in the world at 2v2s.
Oh yeah.
On Call of Duty, some of the best players in the world, as well as being some of the best grapplers in the world. We do it all, baby.
Yes, we do it all.
We do it all.
I mean, shall I say? Actually,
we're about to slay the Ender Dragon too.
Yes, the Ender Dragon. Yes. So not just Call of Duty, but multiple games.
I'm just gonna put that out there. We're very close.
That will be soon.
We're very close.
But I think one thing I wanted to throw in there as far as the football thing, I just thought of it just now. It's like, obviously, if you're a 40-year-old dad at your house and you see some 20-year-old athlete running down the field catching a ball, obviously it's not dumb to think like, I'm not sure if I can do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't be successful in your own way. Like, don't think their level of like success is like, whoa, like I could never be that successful. Yeah. Well, maybe not in football, but maybe in what you're doing now, you could be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Maybe you can't be that successful in their field. Their area, their field, but in yours, you can always improve. We also talked about me journaling. On the first one that we filmed, but I forget how that came up.
I said you were journaling because the downtime after we played Call of Duty Ranked.
Yeah. So we played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Ranked, and
competitively, professionally.
Very competitively, very heavily. Every single day we were grinding. Some of the best diamonds in the world. Yes. Was it diamond or platinum?
I'll put it this way: we were platinum, but once you reach platinum, it puts you in games with diamonds.
Okay, fair.
Like we were going against platinum and diamonds, and we were whooping those diamonds' ass.
That's true.
So
that's true. So what are we?
Exactly.
We're crimson.
What are we?
We're crimson.
Pretty much.
But after that stem, I really wanted to take some time and just I did some self-reflecting. I wanted to.
It's important.
I took a lot of time away from video games and just like not necessarily like even just like social media in general, like trying to spend less time on things that aren't going to get me anywhere and just more things that are going to improve my life in some way. It doesn't always have to improve my like status or pockets, but just self-improvement is always good. So I took some time. I did a lot of that. Like there was a lot of downtime that I was trying to fill up. And the main thing that I ended up doing was journaling. I wrote down like stuff daily.
The grateful thing.
Everything.
Yes. You said you were doing that.
So I had a few books, and I still do this here and there, but nowhere near as much as I did before. But essentially, I call it the Daily Five. I think you gave it to me. You gave me the idea, but I was essentially every day at the end of the day, I would write 5 things. 3 of those things would be things I appreciated that day, and then the other 2 things would be things I feel like I could improve on. And I think it's very beneficial to do stuff like that just because at some point, like months later, you can always look back on that, read through those pages and be like, okay, am I improving on these things?
Mm-hmm.
And am I still appreciating those like little things as well?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that you can just go over your head, right over your head, that you should be appreciating. But nowadays it's easy to just,
especially at your status. I mean, you get to a certain level in jiu-jitsu, I'm sure it's hard to remember a year, 2, 3 years ago when you were like, am I going to be good?
Yeah.
You know, like, am I going to make it? And then here you are, one of the most entertaining grapplers, one of the best grapplers in the world, and you kind of forget that sometimes. Like, man, I kind of should be grateful where I'm sitting right now.
Absolutely.
You know, like, doesn't mean you can't get better, but at least to stop and smell the roses, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, if there's like so many things have to go in line for anything to work out like how it did. There's like if the DDS didn't split, there would be no Jay Rod.
Really?
There would be no Jay Rod.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy, right?
That is pretty crazy.
That's crazy to think. John never let me train with them.
Wow. So yeah,
maybe
that's a proof for like everything happens for a certain reason.
Yep.
The reason may not be clear until like 5 years later.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely,
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Never got to train with them. So when B Team opened up, I was pretty much here at the moment.
Instantly.
Yeah. Instantly. Yeah. My girlfriend at the time was like, when are you gonna come back? I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna get better at jiu-jitsu. Fucking hell.
Oh God.
Shit.
Been back for Christmas.
I was back for Christmas, but with staff. That was my gift.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That staff almost killed me.
God.
Fucking hell.
But I was gonna bring up as far as like what we were talking about yesterday a little bit.
Yes.
The Headway app. If I don't know what the Headway app is, it's this app I kind of downloaded recently where it's like I have a problem, and that's like the best thing you can do.
Autism.
Yeah. First, I have autism. My second problem
He barks at people sometimes.
I charged Heisem today at practice.
He's scary.
Just, but when you said self-reflecting, guys, is the key to success. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, you don't know what you're doing right, you're not gonna be able to make a game plan, you know? And so one of my biggest problems is social media, man. I send Jay probably 100 reels a day, and it's because they're just all funny, so I have to send them. Why I can't not send them? But I'm on social media a lot, right? Obviously, it's become kind of part of my brand and what I have to do, right? I have to grow my following, try and get up to these guys' level following, stuff like that. So I'm on social media way more than I should be. So because of that, I downloaded this app, Headway, that's kind of like social media where you can like scroll through stuff and it's like being on your phone, your app, but it's going through a bunch of like positive stuff. It's like books, quotes, stuff like that, stories of just quotes you can kind of tap through, or you can dive deeper and tap into a book and hear a summary and stuff like that. And so I've started doing that probably just the past week, and it's helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Like just kind of always reminding myself what I should be thinking and like what direction I should be thinking.
Yeah.
It's helped out a lot.
Yeah, you told me about that like 2 days ago, and then the day after I tried to listen to one of the books. We had the same book saved. Like
yes,
scroll through,
we had the same book saved. Yeah.
And then that's what led to the conversation that we had at the Catfish Parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what was that book on? It was like the
subconscious mind.
Yes.
Like how people don't realize what they think subconsciously can affect what they think consciously, which then affects their actions.
Yeah.
So like I listened to the whole summary of just how you should be really careful what you think, and especially what you say out loud.
Yes.
And I mean, if you're going to bed at night and your last thought before you go to bed, consciously or subconsciously, is, God, tomorrow's going to suck. Or I'm really nervous for that tournament. I'm really nervous for that job interview. And that's the last thing you think before you go to bed. That's going to be being transferred into your conscious mind. Yeah. You wake up the next day, now you're consciously thinking about being nervous. And then now that's being transitioned to action. Now you're nervous.
Yeah.
And I mean, it all stemmed from just one little negative thought of oh, I'm nervous for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, that was like when you started talking about the subconscious mind and all that. First off, I really want to read or listen to those a lot of those audiobooks.
It's good.
But I have to pay for the subscription or whatever. But that immediately made me think of Nicky Rod, like immediately.
Oh yeah.
Someone told me recently, they were like, you and your brother are very similar, but there's one thing that he has that you don't. And they said it was
a PS5. You have a
PS5, yeah.
You have a PS5. He doesn't.
Yes. He said, fuck.
It's something to do with like his alter ego kind of thing, kind of becoming.
Yeah. He said, just fuck. What is the word? Not cocky. Not cocky.
Confident?
Confidence, yes. Confidence is the one thing that we don't have in common.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of leads to the subconscious stuff on Nicky Rod. But the guy said, like, there's 3 main characteristics on, like, a lot of successful people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this written down, but I'm going to try to remember it.
Okay.
Confidence. I can't remember those.
I'm trying to remember real quick. See, the thing Nicky Rod does, though, is he projects his confidence
Absolutely.
willingly. I think even if he doesn't believe it, he'll still project it until he believes it.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because it's like,
if he already doesn't believe it from the start.
Exactly. Because, like, who, like, before his matches with Gordon, he still thought he was going to beat Gordon.
Yeah.
Like, he knew, like, in his mind, he knew he was going to beat Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and everyone around him were like, you know, like, yeah. But he believed in it.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a major factor in success. And in the success that he's had, like Nicky Rod portrays this character of like super cocky douchebag, whatever, speaks about himself in the third person, like any delusional, like successful person would.
Psychopath,
complete psychopath. He's doing something right.
Doing something right.
Doing something right. But yeah, it's like he talks in that way so much that it almost becomes like he thinks about this stuff subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he just automatically believes in himself because of this character that he's kind of like putting out there, but it's also like a little bit of him deep down as well, because he's just always thinking about that stuff.
Yeah. That's why I love the mind, because it's just like you can really trick the mind to benefiting like yourself in a lot of ways by just being. I think that's what a lot of people do wrong, because I know some of the dogs out there listening to the Dawg House podcast right now, they're thinking, okay, well, if the answer is be confident or believe in yourself, like, how do I do that? Yeah. Obviously, everything can't be in the mind. Obviously, you have to put in the work.
Absolutely.
You have to have some sort of skills you can be confident in.
Yeah.
If you have no skills or no knowledge, there's nowhere you can direct the confidence toward, right? But to be confident, it all starts, I believe, in the subconscious mind. There's so many people who are good and should be more confident, but they come into the B team, they're visiting, and they're like, oh, like, Ethan's going to beat my ass today.
Exactly.
Or Jay Rod's going to beat my ass today. Yeah. And subconsciously, you were probably already thinking that on the drive here.
Yeah.
Now it's transition into your conscious mind, and now you're speaking it out loud.
Yeah.
So you're already going down the opposite path of confidence, right? You should be driving as a lower level guy at the B team or an up and comer, a visitor. You should be going there being like, I'm gonna whoop someone's ass today.
Yeah.
And I'm at least try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna at least try to.
Yeah.
And that's what my thought process was when coming to the B team for the first time.
Yeah.
Was actually was on a podcast about this a few months ago. They were asking me like, bro, like, you know, how'd it feel going to the B team? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous.
Yeah.
was super nervous because I didn't know if y'all were going to accept me or,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, this guy's literally retarded. Let's get him out of the room.
He's pissing on the floor.
He's pissing on the floor, chewing up all the side of the tables. He's a dog. But I was like, of course I was nervous, but not once did I go in there and be like, I'm going to take a backseat to someone because of how many followers they have or because of who they are, what they've won. Like I trained with Olympians and world champions wrestling in college and stuff. I'm like, I was nervous, obviously, but once I got in there, I was like, all right, time to get better. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to lose. I'm going to win. And so basically what I'm trying to say is, guys, this is stuff Jay and I talk about all the time. The confidence starts in the subconscious mind, right? If subconsciously you're always thinking stuff that's opposite of confidence, then why the hell are you going to portray confidence with your actions or in your conscious mind? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's kind of like a good example of this is the clip that from the Simple Man podcast that Kieran was talking about Nicky Rod about. You remember this? Like the guy came up to Nicky Rod and was like, "Hey, you want a rest round?" That's like already putting yourself down from the start. And then
it's because that wasn't the bastard speaking. That's what it was. That wasn't the bastard speaking.
he's coming back in January.
Yeah, I was messaging him recently. I was like, hey, when you coming back?
I told him. I was like, when you come, stay.
Yes, that's what I told him. I was like, dude, I love surrounding myself with people just with mindset. Aside from his skills, obviously his skills can make me better, but his mindset is just good to be around.
Yes.
I don't know if I told you. I think I did tell you this, but I didn't say it on the podcast. When my leading up to my Enigma bracket, the 5K bracket I was in, I had been rolling with Kieran week prior and battling with them, right? And so Kieran I think Kieran gained some respect for me and my skills and stuff, and so he expected me to do very well with the Enigma.
Yeah.
And like the day before Enigma, he was like, I'm excited to see you and Jeremy in the finals.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy Skinner hopped into the bracket. And I was like, all right, sweet, let's go. Shit the bed, lose a match. Honestly, think I should have won. I lost by decision, but whatever. And the next day I come in pissed off. I instantly show up to practice the next day. It's what you must do. And I go to grab Kieran, and he goes, "What do you think about what do you think about your match over the weekend?" And I said, "I'm embarrassed." And he goes, "You should be." And then he just slaps my hand and we start rolling.
Yeah.
And when he said "you should be," instead of if I asked certain other people would have been like, "Oh, it's okay."
It's okay.
Yeah, and he said "you should be," and I was like, "This dude,
he
tells you what you need to hear."
Yeah.
And I need that around me.
Yeah.
And so ever since that day, dude, I was like, I need to learn from him more. And once he, like you said, he left, I was like, dude, when are you coming back?
Yeah.
Like, we need you in the room.
I messaged him recently as well. I was like, when you come back, please stay.
Yes.
He fits in very well. I like his mindset. He competes like a fucking psychopath.
Yes.
I love it.
He's good.
Like seeing him at like day to day, he's chill, he's cool. And then like on competition day, he just has that switch. And you see it immediately.
Yep.
Immediately.
See it in the
You're like,
eyes,
hey,
you
what's
can see it
up?
in the
And
posture.
the eyes.
You
I was
see it.
telling this to Nicky Rod. I was like, dude, it's like some different energy from him. And he's like, he said the same thing. He said it's in his eyes.
It's good.
And it's like spot on.
And see, that comes back to the subconscious mind where he has told himself over and over, and I'm sure he didn't believe it at first, but over and over again that when I become the bastard, I'm a different person.
Yes.
And he's told himself that subconsciously over and over again. So now when it happens, he honestly feels like I'm a superhero. Like when I'm the bastard, like I can get
the bastard
gritty.
is a different fucking animal.
And so sometimes you have to create those alter egos or those delusional egos to help you. It's what you got to do, you know? I like it.
A lot of successful people are delusional.
Yes.
Nicky Rod, delusional.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
That's the only guy I know. God,
no,
man, Craig is the complete opposite.
Dude,
Craig is different.
It fascinates me the most of how different people get prepared for stuff.
Yeah. Even seeing like people the day of, I talked about this on the Quintet documentaries dropping.
That looks sick.
It's coming.
It looks like a legit movie.
Yeah, it's coming.
There needs to be more
Christmas.
There needs to be more stuff like that for y'all.
It's gonna be good. I hope it's gonna be good.
Dude, movies like documentaries like that, people eat that shit up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it.
Speaking of eating shit up.
Ooh.
Okay, so on the first episode that we had audio issues on, I brought my Pookie. I brought him some banana. What are they called? They're like banana bites or whatever.
Hey, you're the snack guy.
All right, I am the snack guy. I'm the snack guy. He's the movie guy. So I every time we talk, every time we play video games, we're always snacking. So it's like, oh, what are you eating? I'm eating fucking banana bites.
I sent you a snap last night of me literally eating a Dove chocolate. It was like 1 a.m.
1 in the morning. Fucking hell.
Are you trying to live a healthier and a better life? Well, shout out to our sponsors, Juce Organics. Juce Organics are grown organically and ensures their produce is GMO free, free of pesticides, and free of chemicals. So if you're trying to live a better life, buy Juce Organics. Live a better life and live a better future.
You can get their daily greens, daily reds, daily hydrate superfoods, and everything else that they sell by clicking the link in our description. Thank you guys for supporting us, and make sure you guys support the businesses that support the Dawg House.
But yeah, with the banana bites, they're like dried banana bites. They're kind of thick. They're not like the chips. Like they're not like crunchy. It's like it's got the texture of like a gummy bear, but it's just a dried banana. There's no additives.
So it's pretty healthy.
It's healthy. It's just a dried banana.
Yeah.
But it's very, very good. I like it a lot. It's also like $7 for a bag at Central Market. So good stuff. But yeah, on to these. This is another snack that I wanted you to try. These are Munchos. I can't believe you've never had these before. These are, so imagine like
Munchos.
Like Lay's chips, like the greasy yellow bag.
Yeah.
Like just classic chips. Yep. And imagine an unhealthier version of that somehow. This is it.
Perfect.
This is it. It's like crunchier, same level of greasiness, more artificial in all the best ways.
Perfect.
But you gotta dig in there. It's already open. I don't know what happened. I think Nicky Rod might have had a taste. But
Before I take this bite, let me explain something. Jay will message me sometimes of like going to grab something to eat or a snack, and sometimes I think he's talking to me in a different language.
oh yes. Fuck, when did that happen?
To the point where he said something to me, and he's done confused me to the point that sometimes I don't know how to answer the question. Somebody's talking about food. Is he talking about? I don't know. And so he'll be like, "Hey, you want to go try some salapitoa?" I'm like, never heard of it.
Let's do it.
But let's go. And so there's one time he asked me, he's like, "Do you want to do a tabata?" And I was like, "I don't think I've tried that before." I was like, I said, "Is there meat in it?" I said, "Is there meat in it? Because if so, I'll eat it." I was like, "Is there meat in it?" And he's like, "No, like the workout." And before y'all call me a fat ass, I know it as like an assault bite workout. I've never heard the term Tabata. I probably have, but the word matched to what some sort of snack he would tell me. So I immediately thought food. Maybe I was hungry. But anyways, so Jay's a snack guy. I'm the movie guy because I bring up movies where he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not bad. I can eat an entire bag of those, and I ate an entire bag of those that entire time. That's why we were losing.
Get these away from me.
That's why we were losing.
I destroy them.
We were losing the other night because I was eating the entire. My hands were greasy and slipping off the remote.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, it's not bad though.
It definitely tastes like a Lay's, but just a little amplified.
Yeah,
for sure.
More artificial. But I guess we'll look at the time.
I had something I wanted to jump.
Yeah,
into.
what else?
I saw this video I thought was very interesting. It's the first time I'm bringing it up to you. Mm-hmm. It was this wrestling coach. He was talking about how he preached to his team. He was like, he's being interviewed, and he was like, "We don't chase wins, we chase losses." And the interviewer was like, "Really, you chase losses? Like you're trying to lose, or you're trying to make your athletes lose?" And he goes, "Yes, like we chase losses." And ever since any kid who comes into the wrestling room from the first day, we tell them like we're going to chase you a loss. Like if you have 10 wins in a row, then we're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
We got to find you a loss.
Yeah.
We got to chase a loss. And when I heard him say that, I was like, that's so fascinating. I kind of like that, because it's kind of like a delusional effect as well, where it definitely makes you to where losing isn't as bad anymore, because you're kind of looking for the loss. And he described it as like, when you win, you don't really learn much, or maybe you could learn much, but you don't really look back at your film as much as you do when you lose.
Yes.
And he was like, so I teach my athletes to chase losses. If you've won 20 matches in a row, then you better literally go on Google, find someone who you think's better than you, and you better find him in a tournament, and you better hope he beats you. And I was like, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, just seeking out those people who will get you better.
That's very true. Like, I think I could have been more successful in high school, maybe not numbers wise, because I never really had that in high school. I was never really chasing the loss, because I never had many losses because my school was so low level, and I was so much higher level than everyone else. Mm-hmm. So my school would go and compete against other schools that were at the school's level, but not at my level.
Yep.
So the only time I got actual competition was like regions and states. That was really the only time I got like good, solid competition. Because up north in North Jersey, everyone's like tough.
Yep.
South Jersey, I feel like it's kind of give and take.
I mean, Jersey's one of the best wrestling states in the country.
Absolutely, but I think North Jersey is where all the main like dogs are. Mm-hmm. And I never really got to experience that just throughout the season. It was always late season when you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So I feel like I could have been, maybe I could have more accolades, maybe not a better record, but more accolades for sure.
Yeah.
Because I was never able to like test myself until the end of the season. Yeah, that's a very good way to look at things. Like, you want to lose for the ability to find your holes in your game.
Yes.
That definitely makes a big difference.
I think it has a reverse psychological effect on your brain as well, where instead of chasing wins, so now your priority is, I have to win, which then takes you away from I have to get better. Not only do you focus on winning rather than just getting better, but now there's so much more weight on that win rather than if you chase losses. Yeah. And I think that type of mindset, it can apply anywhere. You know, let's say you're not a wrestler. Let's say you're not an athlete. Let's say you work a regular job, or you're a father, or whatever. Like, chase that thing that you're trying to avoid. Everyone is trying to avoid losing. Well, then that's what you should be chasing.
Yeah.
You should be chasing that loss, because now it forces you. I mean, if you're undefeated 50-0, let's say you're Gordon Ryan, right? And you're 60-0, it's like, if you applied this mindset to his life, it would be like, you better be looking for someone to beat you. Like, some people at that level, they want to keep that status, they want to keep that clout. It's like, sure. I'm going to pick people I want to beat. But it's like, bro, go look over in Russia, travel to Russia, travel somewhere. But I got to find someone to beat me. Yeah. Because until someone beats me again, I'm going to plateau here for a while.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's going to take that some random dude to beat you, and you'd be like, thank you. Now I'm going to be 10 times better than you next year, which then I'm going to be 10 times better than myself now.
Exactly.
So it's like, and it all stemmed from chasing that loss.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I don't really have this. I guess I kind of have this with jiu-jitsu, just because I'm learning so rapidly. And everything's still kind of relatively new to me. Mm-hmm. So like every 3 months I kind of have like a new style or like a new move that I'm like having a lot of success with. But with wrestling, it was like every season, completely different wrestler, completely different, like just just style, mindset.
Why do you think that is?
Part of it's injuries, part of it's just like in the downtime you're learning different things. Like in like I mentioned this earlier with club wrestling, I wasn't really competing, but I was learning in the off season. So like I wasn't like getting better, maybe not like mentally or like physically.
Yeah.
But like I was learning more.
Yeah.
So I always came back to like the main wrestling season with a new style. And like I remember the main change was like my junior year, I was shooting a lot of like essentially just shooting a million times, going outside. And it was just like so exhausting to think about now. But yeah, that was my style, and it completely destroyed my knee. So I had surgery. I fucking continued competing on the knee. Won regions because I'm a fucking dog. Went to states, went 2-2 that year. On a completely torn meniscus.
Damn straight.
And the doctor said it was completely torn in half. Fuck. And when he went in there, it was upside down.
What?
He said it was upside down.
What the hell did you do?
Bro, I was fucking people up. It locked up. Like, it locked up quite a few times. It locked up the night before the first few matches of regions.
Damn.
And yeah, I was having issues. Like, I felt weird throughout the season, but I was like, eh. And then it locked up the last practice before regions. Still, just dogged my way through there, I guess. And then also I was warming up at regions. I was warming up, take a shot, first shot I take, and it completely locks up. I have to like go hide from the competition and fucking like extend my leg to like force it to fucking just like fix itself, unlock essentially. So it was like stuck like this.
Damn,
so
that's literally what happened. It's funny. That's exactly what happened to my meniscus.
It's such a weird
before
feeling.
A tournament.
Yeah.
Warming up.
Yep.
Injured it for like the third time, and the third time it locked up.
Yeah.
Had to get emergency surgery because I couldn't extend mine. Like mine was just like I could extend my leg, but like I couldn't bring it back this way. It was just completely locked, and so I had to go get surgery to get that fixed.
Yeah. Well, I won my tournament.
But I won it anyway.
I won my tournament, yes. And then what were we talking about before this?
The hell if I know.
I don't know. Talking about me being
I was talking about the chasing the loss thing.
Chasing the loss. How did that lead to improvement over the seasons?
Oh yeah, you were saying were you saying you felt like you improved?
I changed. I had a different style every season. And that's the junior year season. That destroyed my knees, and that changed my style.
Do you think you're doing the same thing in jiu-jitsu? Are you changing your style yearly?
I changed my style because I'm just always trying to. I feel like you have to change your style because my training partners are always improving on the things that I'm hitting. So like I'll hit like a move, get really good at it for like 3 months. I'm hitting it consistently, and then at the end of those like 3 months, I feel like these guys are like they're on to what I'm doing. So I have to get something else. Yeah. And then so it's always like a improving.
Yep.
Sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But like around trials, I was hitting the row drag. I was hitting row drag. I was really good at it, and now it's my success rate is starting to slow down because these guys are like they know not to put the frame there. They know not to do this. They know to post on my hip. They know they just know what to do. So now I'm looking right now. I'm kind of like an in between stage. I'm also kind of hard because I'm like trying to improve in other areas. I'm trying to pull guard and do certain things from there. I'm trying to be like Kieran. But also trying to find something from top, from passing, just always trying to add on to the game. But back to my senior year, I had completely destroyed my knee, recovered from surgery so I could shoot and stuff. But essentially, I had probably over 30 matches. I probably had like 25 pins. I just snapped everyone down to front head. Got like a front head, like a head and arm, and like got like a gable grip in their armpit, like pinched their arm across, so they're like this, and then I was just like straight to the back, bro, like over 25. I was like highest pins, like top 10 in the state for like most pins. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good time.
I wish I was like that. I wasn't a pinner.
I was not a pinner until I destroyed my knee.
Really?
Yeah, never got pins. My coach used to fucking hate me for it. He was like, "You're so good. Why can't you pin these people?"
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've noticed the same thing in the room too. Just like people catching on to my wrestling and like what I do, what I like to take shots on. So which I love because it forces me to have to evolve my wrestling as well. You know, which is perfect. It's what I need to do.
That's the thing with having like main training partners where like you have someone at your weight, you have like someone at your level that you're able to hit these things on and like really like go hard, and then they start catching on and they get better at defending and vice versa. So it's just you're just always improving with that person.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really good.
You only improve if you self-reflect.
Yeah.
Right? If you're hitting the same thing every day and it's not working, you're just like, just continue doing it. You continue doing it instead of going, why isn't it working anymore?
Exactly.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Okay, how can I improve that? Or maybe I can stick with the same move, just adjust it. You know what I mean? It's constantly self-reflecting your performance and practice,
absolutely,
which is important.
Yeah, maybe I can use this to lead into this pass.
Exactly.
Instead of just, I have to do this pass. I have to do this.
I wanted to completely jump over to something else real quick. Which for me personally was another time where we're kind of go back into the casual conversation because I was thinking for me personally, it was a time where I was like Jay's gonna be my best friend. I think you were already my best friend at the time, but I was like, this is the guy I'm looking for. Yeah. Was when we went to the Carnival, and I'll tell you why.
The recent one.
Yes, the Carnival.
Really?
Yeah, because before I even go into that, I did Instagram lives like a few weeks ago, and everyone's been asking about what happened at the Carnival. Like, what happened to the Carnival? What happened to the Carnival? Like, we heard you and Jay were at the Carnival and something happened. Like, what happened? So I'll tell y'all. Jay had never been to a Carnival at the time, and I think I was sending him reels and stuff of just always like Carnival kind of videos and whatever. And he asked if I wanted to go with him to one in town. We thought it was in town.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
This one, yes. We thought it was in town.
Womp.
Yeah, womp. Yeah, that was a womp moment for sure. We put in the address for this place, and it was like an hour and a half away. And we're like, it says Austin. How's it an hour and a half away? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, let's go. It's like, it's a road trip. Let's go.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go. So we drive all the way there, talking the whole time, past some cool little towns, sick little place kind of. And then we got there, and first of all, we couldn't even find the Carnival when we got there. The address took us to like some random park, and we're just like 2
blocks away. Yeah,
I guess it ain't here. Yeah. Guess we're going back. Yeah. But we saw some signs and banners where the Carnival was at, and so after driving an hour and a half, we go to the Carnival, and it's completely closed. Yeah. We get there, everything's like dark. I'm like, Jay, I know this is your first time at a Carnival, but it's not supposed to look like this. Like, it's supposed to be way more lights than this. And so we get there, and we just like kind of walk up to the abandoned Carnival. We're kind of looking at it just like, I was like, well, this is what it looks like, Jay. Like, whatever. And then we hear like some horses like in the dirt and stuff in the distance, and we're like, oh, what's that? We go over there. We watch down barrel horse racing.
Barrel racing.
But we did that for a little bit. But we eventually, sat there for like 35 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
And then went home. And what I noticed more than anything, we got Dairy Queen, by the way. That's why we went out there.
We shared it.
Yeah. I was like, anyone else, this would have broke their attitude or personality in some way to be like, oh, this is fucking a waste of trip, blah, blah. But we were both on the same page as far as just like, So what do you want to do now?
Yeah.
Like, get some ice cream?
Here, yeah, ice cream.
Yeah, let's get some ice cream. Fucking watching the horses over here.
Yeah,
and it was just like instantly turned into a vibe of just like, hey, didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. Let's turn it into something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
And ever since that day, not ever since that day, but those were one of the days where I was like, yeah, this guy's like, you know, he's just right up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got the priority straight with how your attitude should be.
You can't really let like things affect you like that. Like,
no.
You drove fucking an hour and a half. What were we gonna be doing with that hour and a half? Anyways?
Exactly. I would have been on Instagram scrolling.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. There's only like you're not gonna gain anything from being negative about really anything.
Really anything.
Yeah. Like I'll take a week to be depressed after a match, but aside from that, you can't let like little things like that affect you.
Yeah.
You know, a match is big, especially I feel like now I'm supposed to be winning. So when I don't win, which is most of the time, it's fucking rough. It's very frustrating because I'm putting all this time and just so much energy and work into this, and when it doesn't work out, it's frustrating. It's almost scary. It's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Scary,
what am I doing with my time? What can I be doing better? Because like, it's possible to like beat these people. Like it is possible.
Yeah.
And people give me excuses like, oh, you've only been doing this for 3 years. He's on steroids. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's got a whole regimen. Like, I don't like just because I'm young. I don't want to be capable of beating these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should be able to win.
Yeah.
Should be able to win right now with the amount of time I'm putting into this. So, yeah, it can be frustrating. I don't want people to give me excuses. I feel like I deserve. Everything you get is usually deserved. Earned. Yeah. So that just means I haven't earned it yet. So with time.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come.
It will come.
You're more ahead of me. You're more ahead than I am. I'm back here. Okay.
How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
Well, my first year, I don't count my first year.
Yeah.
Don't count the first year. My first year, I went trained gi maybe twice a week. I was just lifting hard.
Yeah.
I just got done. I just stopped wrestling. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to eat. I'm going to lift.
Yeah.
I got up like 175, 176.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like muscle. I was not fat.
Yeah. Wow.
Just lifting heavy and training once or twice a week gi.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how my whole first year went. So it was nothing serious at all. Didn't really compete.
Yeah.
And then I just started kind of getting into it again toward the end of the year. Switched to a different gym because I wanted to go. Once I started taking it seriously, I was like, it's going to be a no gi.
Yeah, I was just saying, what made you do gi instead of no gi? Being a wrestler, it's like...
Because I was in a small town, and there's, I think, only 2 jiu-jitsu gyms within like 30 miles.
Okay.
Wasn't too aware of the no-gi gym that I eventually moved to because there was a UFC fighter that trained at this gi gym I went to who would come and wrestle Virginia Tech a lot. And so the second I stopped wrestling, I was like, oh, I'm going to go train with him.
Yeah.
And so I just immediately went over there.
Yeah, must be training at a good gym.
Yeah, it must be a good gym. And it was a good gym. They were more of like a all-around MMA striking gym. And then they were like zoned in on jiu-jitsu, tech MMA. One of the probably nicest jiu-jitsu facilities I've ever been in my life. So a super nice gym. Good instructors, good people. But once I started taking it seriously, I was like, I'm obviously going to have way more success in no gi than I am gi.
Yeah.
And I just simply did not like gi. I'm not going to do something I don't love to do. So I enjoyed doing it, but I did not love it. I did not like the gi. It was frustrating coming from being a wrestler. But anyways, so I transferred to a different gym, Team Manning, also in Blacksburg. And there is when I started training seriously. And so probably 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Okay. We're about the same.
Yeah. 3 years.
3 years, yeah. Yeah, that's a thing as well. What did you mention before? Fuck, like two sentences ago.
Fuck, what did I just say? What was it about?
wish I would have had these magnets. My ears were messed up.
Let's be honest. We're all dogs here, especially you listeners. And do we have a treat for you? Our friends at Petwear Co. are offering 20% off their custom-made to-order dog collars when you use code DAWG20. That's capital DAWG and then 20.
Yeah, so there's this clip of, I have it saved in my library, of course, in my photo library.
Amongst many.
Yes. There's a clip of FaZe Jev. You know FaZe Jev?
FaZe Jev, yep.
FaZe Jev. He's a YouTuber who just plays video games. But
That's the goal.
plays video game. That's the goal, yes. Minecraft every single day. Yeah, he posted a video. Apparently people always ask him, they're like, oh, like, he's a very angry guy. Like, he's like, he screams and just fusses a lot, complains about a lot of things. But people always tell him, like, oh, well, you don't have to play Call of Duty every day. Like, you can play every other day, or you can play other games, and we'll still watch you. We'll still support you. And he's like, no, I want to play Call of Duty every single day, and I want to post these videos every day, and I want to edit these videos every day. And he was saying how it's just become like there's no overtraining or like exhausting that he doesn't get exhausted or tired of it. It's just like his baseline. And this leads into the other baseline stuff. Fuck. So
Say it.
So essentially, it's just like if you do it every day, it just becomes baseline, right? Like that's expected of you. And I get the same thing from people as well. People are like, oh, how long do you plan on like training every day? And it's like are you obsessed, or do you want to train every day? I was like, I don't even think about it. Like it's just like something I do. It's like eating, it's like breathing, like it's just like I train once a day every single day. Like this is expected of me, and it's not mine. Like I don't do it mindfully, I guess. Like it's just I just do it.
I don't know why I just had a thought. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just had a thought of when you said I do it mindfully, like eating. I just imagine you like getting on Xbox or PlayStation, and you like walk to the kitchen and you're just like grabbing stuff like without having to think about it, just grabbing snacks and just boom.
Fucking hell. Dude, speaking of mindfully eating, fruit roll-ups are the most retarded things I think.
I remember you talking about this.
Created. It's
I remember
so
you talking
stupid.
about this.
So stupid.
When you brought it up, I was like, huh? But then when you described it, you make a very valid point.
Just eat fucking gummy bears.
Make it very valid. Explain to the dogs tuning in why fruit roll-ups are the dumbest thing you could eat.
1, your microplastics are wrapped around your food.
Boom.
Okay. 2, you don't want, like, you can eat any candy you want, grab a little piece, and you eat it. That's it. You grab it out of a bag, and you eat it. A fruit roll-up is the only thing that you have to put in your mouth and pull the fucking string away. Boom. So you don't eat the fucking plastics. And like I can't do that while I game. I can't do that.
It's just everywhere.
It's just fucking on my fucking neck and shit. I got sticky hands and shit.
You look at Jay's room. He's like been strangled by his fruit roll-up. Just
fucking hell.
It's a good point though. Your fingers get all sticky.
Dude, it's
hanging down here.
Exactly.
You have to pull the plastic off. It is. Once you started describing, I was like, yeah. I hate fruit roll-ups.
This guy's on to something.
Yeah, I'm never buying this again.
Fuck yeah, that is a waste of time. Don't buy fruit roll-ups.
Yeah. But as far as the baseline, is there anything else you were saying about that?
The baseline. Where were we at before we got into the fruit roll-up?
You were saying the baseline of just like how you have to just do stuff. Like
yes,
training and stuff, you do
mindfulness,
mindful. Yeah, you just do it mindfully.
So so training, like I train every day. It's I don't even think about it. I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to find something like that, like something that you enjoy so much that it's just like you don't even think about it.
Would you say that's basically like, would you put it in the same ballpark as like discipline?
I don't know if it's discipline. I don't think it's discipline.
Yeah.
I think discipline is doing 2 days and going to 8 a.m. I think that's discipline. Going to 8 a.m. and then training again after that, training at noon after that. I think that's discipline. I don't think training at noon every day is discipline. It's just like it's not that it's easy. Like training is difficult and you're being mindful and like always trying to improve there. But it's just like responsibility. It's just expected.
Yes.
And if it's not expected, I feel off. Like I feel like if I don't train, I get like antsy. Like I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that the most whenever I'm hurt. Like,
yes,
dude, that as an athlete specifically, I like to touch on things that people can apply to their life, even if they're not an athlete.
That's good.
But an athlete specifically, it's so hard to deal with being hurt and knowing you shouldn't roll or you shouldn't lift or you shouldn't try and squat 400 pounds this week, but then know that because of that, you're dipping below your baseline.
Yeah.
And because your baseline is so like freaking concrete, whenever you don't at least do your baseline, which for us is pretty high, it's like, like
it feels wrong.
You want to do it, and then you do it, and then now walk around like this all day. I'm like, I should have done, shouldn't have rolled.
Why's my neck hurt?
Yeah, why does my neck hurt? And it's just like I struggle with that more than anything, dude. I
finding like a good in between. Almost.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard.
That's
Especially for a natural athlete.
Yes.
Like where I have to be more mindful of my body.
Yeah. That's another thing as well. Like you were talking about doing like more than the baseline, but even like for anyone that has a baseline for the amount of work that they do, you have a baseline. Say that baseline is 100%. And then whenever you do end up toning down that baseline, you're like, I'm going to do 80% of my baseline for like the next week. And then that just turns in, eventually that 80% becomes your new max, right? Mm-hmm. That becomes your new maximum amount of work you can do because you just get used to that.
Yep.
And you're like, this hurts, that hurts. And then it lowers. And then you're like, this is happening in my life. Or like my girlfriend fucking broke up with me, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna tone it down even more and focus on other things, and eventually your baseline is nothing, and you're not doing anything at all.
Yeah, 1000%.
That is something I'm very mindful of. I really don't want to just continue toning it down to the point where I'm not constantly improving. That's scary.
That brings up a very interesting point as well, is at some point in your life, naturally your baseline will come down naturally.
Absolutely.
But I like what you just said. We're like, I always have to feel like I have to be improving. Well, if your baseline comes down physically, then your baseline can increase mentally.
Absolutely.
Or if your baseline goes down mentally, then you can increase your baseline physically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always somewhere you can be improving.
Kind of fill that gap.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the thing as well.
Because J Rod will get old one day, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
But it's like at that point, when my body can't keep up with what I'm trying to do, I'm just gonna retire. Like I don't want to compete forever. I want to be able to
have a family,
have a sustainable life.
Yeah.
Have a 1965 Ford Mustang.
That went a different route very fast. I want to have a baby, a family.
Yes.
Mustang. Let's get to the important stuff.
No, for sure. Like I want a house. There's specific things that you want. House.
Yeah.
Fucking.
You're gonna be able
Mustang.
to pick up your child one day, not be like, "Oh, sorry, Johnny, I'm gonna put you back down."
My knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like you said. It's like not overworking your body as well. It's hard to find that in between.
It is hard
because like mentally you can, like I could spend the entire day working out.
Yeah.
But it's like not healthy for me because the next day I'll be trashed. Trashed.
That's why when people come up to me and they tell me, or some people are like, "Oh, I'm training 2 a day. You're not training 2 a day. Whatever it may be." It's like, yeah, but I take a lot of extra time outside of physical practice to improve my psyche as well.
Yeah.
Like the Headway app, reading the Bible, whatever it may be. Like I specifically do stuff that I'm specifically doing to help my jiu-jitsu or help whatever, just in a different way. Yeah. I mean, that isn't putting miles on my body. You know?
Yeah, that's always a good way. Just like
that's been my compromise, at least, because my body has a lot of miles on it.
I completely agree with that. That's good.
You had just one surgery?
I've had 3 surgeries.
3? Yeah,
collarbone, meniscus, and then I had like surgery on my back, but that wasn't like an injury. That was just fucking. What about you?
1
elbow,
2, 3
back,
behind my shoulder.
What happened?
Why are we? I like to tell people it's an injury, but it wasn't.
Why are we the same?
Yeah, literally the same.
What the fuck?
It was knee,
arm,
elbow,
knee,
and then my shoulder, behind my shoulder. I'll tell you what it is. It was I had a cyst on my back.
No fucking way.
Yeah. Did you?
I had a fatty tissue on my back.
That was what I had.
Fuck. Bro, that's
was
so
on your
weird.
left side?
The back shoulder. Left side.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You have a scar? I have a scar there.
I have a massive scar on my back.
I have
like, oh, you gotta put coconut oil. I'm not touching that fucking thing.
I have like 3 hairs that grow right out of the scar, like just in that one spot.
Fuck.
But yeah, I had to get mine lasered out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So 3 surgeries technically. 2 were only for injury purposes, but I've gotten probably like 5 or 6 major injuries.
Yeah.
But only 2 of them needed surgery.
Yeah. What were your other major injuries?
Fuck. I had a grade 2 tear on my LCL on my left knee, grade 1 tear on my MCL on my left knee, tore my meniscus 3 times on my right knee.
Fuck.
The 3rd time I got surgery. Just a small sprain of my MCL on my right knee, a torn hamstring tendon on my right knee, several broken bones. I've had broken bones, but those don't really count. And then I completely destroyed my left elbow.
Yeah.
Completely detached my UCL ligament from my elbow.
How did that happen?
I was rolling with one of my partners at my last gym, and we weren't even going that hard. We were just like kind of rolling, and I take a shot. He gets me in a Kimura, and we kind of start to roll. It was kind of my fault more so than it was his, where we went to go roll. For some reason, during the roll, I felt the Kimura like super loose to the point where I felt like as I was rolling, I could just limp arm out of it. And like as I go to limp arm, I guess for him to like be able to hold his own weight while we're rolling, he like tightens it up. And so I go to limp arm and he tightens it up, and it just like gets twisted.
Yeah.
And I hear like 6 pops. And I kept rolling for like 30.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
For probably only like 25 more seconds. It was 25 seconds on the clock. I was like, I'll finish the round.
Yeah.
So I start rolling. I'm just like, that was weird, man. And then
I was like, fucking
it's just like, and then the second I stopped rolling, dude, it was just it swelled up and I felt it. Still didn't go to the emergency room when I should have. I was like, this thing was fucked up, dude. It was like I could feel. I was like, I can't move my arm. My girlfriend was like, are you gonna go to the emergency room? I was like, nah, I'll just sleep and
I'll sleep it off.
See how it feels tomorrow morning.
Give me dumb chocolate.
Yeah, I went to bed just like my arm like this because I couldn't bend it. Next morning, went to emergency room. Long story short, fuck the doctor in Blacksburg.
Yes.
I forget your name, but I don't like you.
Yeah.
I forget your name, but I hate you. Was waste of time going there. But anyways, went to a personal doctor back in Richmond, and he's like, yeah, your elbow's destroyed. You need to get surgery if you want to ever compete again.
Yeah.
Which the doctor in Blacksburg told me I should stop training, and I'm probably never going to compete again. And then the next year I beat a world champion. So fuck you.
Amen.
But anyway, so
Dawg.
I got Tommy John surgery. So they took out the ligament out of my wrist and attached it to my elbow. And that was a year-long rehab. I had to dive deep in here to get through that one. Because I was like, dude, It was, by the way, it was 3 weeks before I was supposed to
Move to B team.
move out to B team. I
Yeah.
was so excited. I was so hyped. I was like, let's go. Like, boom. I'm just like, oh my dude.
Yeah.
But as the dog does, I'd lock in.
Yep.
I was back in the gym lifting with one arm every day.
Yep.
I was watching film. I moved to B team. I was in there every day just watching.
Yeah.
Just did what I could do, you know?
Yeah. When you first started coming in, I was like, who's this fucking retard?
Yeah. I'm sure that's what everyone
He's been
thought.
coming in for the past 3 months.
Yeah, just over in the corner.
Just talking to no one in
Thanks
a
for-
fucking sling.
I don't know if I don't think I ever brought this up to Nikki Rod again, but I purposely wore my Virginia Tech wrestling shirt when I went in there. I was like, hopefully this helped out a little bit. But JB was like super nice to me my first day there and really helped like transition me into the B team.
Yeah.
But I think it was like my second or third week, like people start asking me questions, kind of picking my brain to see if I was legit.
Yeah.
Kind of, or like, why did you keep coming in here? And Nikki Rod comes up to me and he's like, hey, could you show me a throw? Like for a video? And I was like, yeah, sure. and looking back, I was like, I feel like he was definitely testing me to like see what I knew. And I showed him this throw that, cause like, I've never said this before. This is funny. I was like, oh, Nikki Rod's asked me to show my throw. Like, it's gotta be fucking sick. Gotta be sick. Can't be a headlock, because everyone shows. Can't be a lat drop. It's what everyone shows. So I was like, what's a throw maybe he hasn't seen yet? So I showed him this throw I learned in Greco-Roman wrestling, where like you climb up the Russian tie and you go lat grip, and then you jump and square up and you throw him over your left shoulder.
Okay.
And I show him that, and Nikki Rod films it for a reel, and he does it. When I see him do it, I'm like, damn, that looks ugly.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, it wasn't necessarily he was doing it wrong. It just, once I saw the move be done, I was like, that wasn't a good move to show him. Like, I was like, this guy thinks I'm a fucking retard. He just grabs this dude and just slings him on the ground like this white belt. See this guy's in house, and I was like, great. And I was like, I was like, I hope that reel gets a lot of views, because if it's like bottoms out, I'm like, what the fuck does this guy know? Like, so that's the story behind that. Yeah.
Just sitting there holding camera.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I look great. Fuck, I should have shown something else.
Fucking hell.
Well, yeah.
What else is there to? Oh, sponsors.
Oh yeah, the sponsors.
Sponsors this. Oh, we're kind of deep into this. All right, we'll end soon. So we are obviously. I want to be able to record all of these, to be able to look back on them. Right. That's honestly my main reason for starting this podcast in general, because I want to look back on these conversations, because this man is just so bright and intelligent.
We feed off from each other.
It's just
That's the truth.
it's just perfect. But yeah, I want to be able to look back on these conversations that we have. So that's my main reason for starting the podcast. But there are plenty of expenses that go into starting the podcast. Thankfully, the Simple Men kind of, bought all these cameras and all this equipment.
What cameras?
What cameras?
What equipment?
We're not using their equipment at all. We're definitely not in their room right now.
We bought our own podcast studio.
These are not their chairs. Yeah, Nikki Rod is allowing me to use their stuff, so thankful for that.
Absolutely.
Shout out the Simple Man. And what else? We're looking for sponsors, right? So we need sponsors to be able to cover all the fees for reels, filming, thumbnails, everything really. So if you have a company that you want to advertise, please reach out to the Dawg House Podcast 1 on Instagram, or me or J Dawg. Probably shouldn't reach out to me because my DMs are pretty much impossible to
Flooded with
look
the
through.
ladies. Flooded.
It's too much. It's too much. Yeah, reach out to us for sponsors. What else? Is there anything else?
Yeah. Just, as we mentioned this before, but in the future we plan on kind of being more interactive with the followers on our Dawg House podcast, having y'all put in questions or topics you'd like for us to kind of touch on because of our brilliant minds when we get together. And we'll kind of start doing that stuff later in the future, just kind of reaching out and putting out polls on our stories and allowing our fans and the followers to kind of be able to put in certain topics and questions they want us to
pick
go
our
through.
brains a little bit. Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in to the very first episode of the Dawg House Podcast. We appreciate all your support. As mentioned before, give J Dawg a follow on Instagram. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I guess that's it. Yeah.
I have one more thing.
What was that?
Yes. Right, I'm done. That's it.
Fuck. Oh, what did... All right, we'll leave it at that.
Next time.
Next time, yes. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.